Hey Radiant Souls, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome for the first time. My name is Heather. I'm an intuitive artist, author, animal communicator, psychic channeler, medium, and I'm on a mission to empower and embolden others to connect with their divine radiant light. Several years ago, I was invited to speak at an event, and the topic was about holistic connection and wellness. And I struggled for a little bit coming up with my presentation, my keynote, and what came through ultimately was a channeled teaching about something I call the AWARE method for conscious connection. I wanted to share that today, but I also wanted to let my guides come through and share it for us because it was originally from them. And I'll tell you, just for those who are interested in how guidance or intuitive knowledge can come through sometimes. For me, I was out hiking and I was kind of sweating it. It was a couple of weeks before the event and I didn't have my presentation. I didn't have my keynote ready. And I thought, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. And just in hiking and getting lost in the moment and being really grounded and present, all of a sudden I saw like the word aware, almost like it was up in lights, like you would see on Broadway, aware. And I was like, am I going to run into something on the trail? What do I need to be aware about? And then I just kind of worked at unpacking that. Okay, what does aware mean? And then they would show me one word stood for something, like one letter. A stood for something, WARE, and they broke it all out for me on that hike. Came back and I put my presentation together and I've been teaching it in different classes since then, but I wanted to revisit the topic and bring it through today for you, again, with the channel guidance. So enjoy that. I'll be back at the end of the video just to wrap things up. So I'll see you then. Enjoy. Hello, bright and beautiful beings. We would speak to you today, not on becoming awakened or awake, as many in your time are focusing upon, but on becoming aware. The two do not contradict one another. We would like to add another layer, another element of conscious connection. So this is the AWARE method for conscious connection, for when you are connecting with yourself, with others, with your pets in a conscious manner, you are very present. You are grounded into your reality. You are grounded into the existence that you inhabit. And that allows you to bring the seeds of your awakening into the present moment. The word aware is broken out so that every letter represents one of the steps. We find this is an easy way to share information and an easy way for you to remember information. And as we go through our information today, we would say that we are sharing this from three different perspectives. Conscious connection for yourself. Conscious connection with others, other humans. Conscious connection with animals, with your pets, with your animal companions. So each of these 5 steps will have 3 components. We are very organized today, are we not? And so let us begin with the letter A, which we say represents acknowledge the impact of the physical environment. And this may seem very obvious, but often you neglect these physical elements for yourself in any of your connections. So when you are looking to consciously be present and connect with yourself, acknowledging the impact of the physical environment means nurturing your physical vessel. Are you rested? Are you well nourished? Are you hydrated? And more importantly, where is your nervous system? How is your nervous system operating in this moment? For if you are operating from fight or flight, if you are operating from stress, it will be difficult to consciously connect with yourself, with others, and with your animals, for you will be operating at a disjointed bandwidth. So acknowledging the impact of the physical environment for yourself nurtures and honors yourself, and it is the first and most important pillar of our steps. When you acknowledge the impact of the physical environment as it relates to someone else, when you are in a conversation with another human, give them the same grace that you would give yourself. May they be in a state of stress? Consider that when you're interacting with them. Perhaps they are not fully thriving in their physical vessel, and that is impacting the way they're connecting with you. And so when you acknowledge that with them, you elevate the conversation. You allow yourself to give them more space. You allow yourself to expand your own energy out in a way that supports them. When you are acknowledging the physical environment in any connection with your pets, it is similar to what we have stated. You are acknowledging, you are becoming alerted to their physical body, their physical needs. Are they tired? Are they hungry? Have they had sufficient hydration? Do they have a physical condition that is impacting their behavior? It is often easy for many of you to say, oh, my pet is misbehaving and they have these issues, and it must be that they are frustrated. It must be that they are getting back at me. The cat who goes in the litter box. Is she angry because I've left her alone? Perhaps, but perhaps she also has a physical condition. So please acknowledge the impact of the physical environment. And for your pets as well, it could be related to temperature of the space. It could be related to the energy of the space. And although that may extend a little bit beyond our classification of physical environment, we would say it is very important to manage the energy in your space to allow your animals to thrive. So acknowledging the physical environment brings your awareness, brings your entire focus back to the physical vessels you inhabit, those around you inhabit, your pets inhabit, and inform your decisions and your connections and your relationships with that in mind. The second step of the AWARE method is the letter W. And for us, that represents watch your output. What if we told you, and many of you know this already, but we will share it here, every thought has its own Wi-Fi signal, to use a comparison that many of you would recognize from your world. That does not mean that others can hear your thoughts, that your thoughts are broadcast with specificity, but the tone and the texture and the frequency of your thoughts are. Particularly when your thoughts are enmeshed or combined with an emotion, that is a stronger signal. So when you are watching your output with yourself, you are listening to the inner dialogue that you have as it relates to yourself. Where is your mind in this moment? Are you standing and thinking from a perspective of calm, confidence, and ease? Or are you coming from a perspective of agitation? Are you coming from a perspective of limitation? Are you broadcasting those limitations into your own connection with yourself? And if you are, just acknowledge it and work to adjust it if that is in your best interest. When you are connecting with others, watching your output allows you to have a softer presence. If you are frustrated with someone, if you are angry, if you are in grief, all of those things are valid emotions. We're not saying do not have the emotions. We're saying understand that they are an ingredient in the soup of that conversation that you're having. So while you're broadcasting that output, stay aligned with the words you are saying and the emotions you are feeling, and we will revisit this again more in a later step. And as you are connecting with your pets, watching your output allows you to understand that although they may not, from your perspective, understand the exact words you are saying, they feel the texture and the frequency of your thoughts. And we will give you a training example for this, but it extends beyond that. If you would like a dog to not jump up on the couch, and you have trained, you have reinforced this behavior to the best of your ability, But when you see your beloved, dear, fluffy friend jump on the couch, the first thing you react with is no in your mind. And that no was so charged with energy. That was your output. It wasn't the fact that you did not prefer them to do that behavior. It was that you amplified your reaction upon seeing them on the couch. And from a pet's perspective, that feels like, yeah, job well done. Look how much you got this energy from me. Energy is the exchange rate with your animals in many ways. So you have reinforced the behavior by the amplification of your reaction to it. That's your output in that scenario. The next step of the AWARE method is a favorite of many, and it is allow the superhero story. You have many examples in your time and space reality of the superhero, the everyday average person who awakens or is impacted by an event and then awakens their otherworldly gifts, their supreme abilities. We love these stories, for you all have these abilities within you. You all have an expanded, elevated version of you that is just waiting to be uncovered. When you allow the superhero story in your conscious connection with others, you are coming from the very best of you. You are coming from that elevated version of you. You are coming more aligned with your higher self, with your soul, with your divinity in your interactions. And if everyone showed up from that space, how beautiful would the world be? We understand that in your connections with others, with yourself, with your pets, there is often frustration. There is often impatience. There are often obstacles that pull you out of that elevated, expanded version of yourself. So just in remembering to be aware and allow that second A to represent allowing the superhero story, it's just a little reminder for you. Stand a little taller, come at something from a better perspective as if you are that expanded version of yourself. So in relation to you, we know being human comes with regret, with guilt, with limitations, with mental chatter. Many of you are working to dampen that, to quiet it, to turn it down, to switch it to something positive, and that is beautiful. When you allow the superhero story, can you write it for yourself as if it were a story? This is advice we frequently give. Consider one of your superhero movies or stories. And how would something similar apply to you? If you were to go back and look at your wounds, your traumas, your challenges, see how they have informed who you are today, and see how they are the foundation for what you will become. And in that, allow yourself to step into the energy of that larger, bigger, some would say better, but that is a judgment, that expanded version of you. If you think of your story as that, I am awakening the superhero within me, how does that change how you relate to yourself? Oh, I'm just on my journey. I'm on the path toward becoming. In your relations with others, other humans specifically in this example, can you give them the same space? Can you allow that for their own stories also, there's a superhero within them? They may not be exhibiting that behavior with you in the moment, that they are on your nerves, that they are arguing with you, that they are presenting you with a challenge. But within them also resides the expanded version. And when you see that, when you look for that, when you actively seek that out in another, you acknowledge it. You give it frequency. You allow it to expand, whether that individual is mindful of it or not. And you can relate from the expanded version of you to the expanded version of them, and you will see the conversation can shift, the argument may soften, and you are relating to each other in a different way. When you allow the superhero story for your pet, this can be so empowering for them. Many of you may be drawn to rescuing animals who have been injured, hurt, and neglected, and this is a beautiful thing. In her many years of working with rescue organizations, the channel noticed that many of the stories of these animals were retold from the lowest, saddest, most desperate level. And so an animal, for example, who had been homeless or had been abandoned or had been injured, that is the story that would be told over and over and over about that pet in every adoption event, in all of the literature that was written about the pet. Pictures of their wounds, of their emaciated states would be shown frequently. Can you imagine if that were you and the worst areas of your life, the traumas that you are ready to move past for your pets really are master alchemizers of energy, and they are ready to move past things very easily. But could you imagine if your wounds were frequently on display in such a way, broadcast for everyone? Oh, look at her. Yeah, she suffered abuse as a child. Let's tell that story over and over and over and over again. It becomes difficult to see yourself in a different light because others are, in witnessing that sadder version of your story, are seeing you in that light. They're casting you in that role in the play. And when we do that with our pets, when we tell their traumas, we tell their limitations, we talk about where they are not measuring up or where they have been neglected, abused, we are painting them with that brushstroke over and over and over. And it does not allow a pet to freely move forward. So when you are connecting with your pets or other animals, see the superhero in them. See, they are overcoming. They are not burdened by those things. They've moved past and are moving through them. Allow them the glorious joy that an animal feels of being in the present moment and being in their own elevated state. Allow the superhero story. The next step of the AWARE method is to recognize the soul connection, and this may come easiest for all of you. However, it is often common that you drop out of this awareness in the everyday, in the negotiations, in the contract signings, in the separations, in the arguments. When you recognize the soul connection with yourself, you understand that your higher self is guiding you. Your team of guides are guiding you. The beings you are interacting with every day are part of your soul's story. And it is not just this one lifetime that is being written. It is the record of all of the you that exists in its unlimited, infinite way. And all of your experiences are part of that soul story. So when you can see within yourself a limitation with which you struggle, can you, in recognizing the soul connection, see, yes, that is a theme my soul wanted to explore. That is something I chose to feel, something I chose to witness. And if you are uncomfortable with the I chose aspect, for many of you would say, I did not choose to suffer. I did not choose to lose. I did not choose to grieve. Shift your language from that a little bit and say, it is something I am experiencing. It is something that is informing my soul. It is a piece of data that I am collecting for my soul's wisdom. Recognize the soul connection in all that you do. When you recognize the soul connection when connecting with another human, a similar lens can be applied here in that you witness not only your soul connection with them, but the willingness that you are as souls exploring these themes together. You are exploring the themes of what you are going through in your relationship. You are exploring the themes of joy, love, adventure, sadness, grief, trauma, all of it. You're experiencing it as a soul. And allow that to shift your perspective out of the moment when you are perhaps in a heated argument, when you are at odds with someone, when you feel frustrated with another's perspective. Can you say to yourself, my soul is gaining much wisdom from this moment? And our souls together are learning, our souls together are in this, and this may be difficult for some of you to hear it in this way. Our souls together are in this playground. We are in this sandbox together, exploring these themes. When you recognize the soul connection with your pets, this may be the easiest of the three of these phases for many of you, for you feel that deep connection with your animal companions. They are here as your teachers. They are here as your compatriots. They are here to walk beside you and help your soul explore themes. Just as we said with other humans, your animal companions are here for your soul's knowledge and for their own soul's knowledge and exploration. How does that shift for you the image of your puppy chewing the remote control? If you can shift out of the frustration of that moment, and we understand that is a silly reference, but for some of you, it will feel very valid. If you say, in this moment, my soul is learning patience, and this precious, adorable, feisty puppy is helping me learn that in a way that I may not have explored it before. What a gift. Recognize the soul connection. The last step of the AWARE method is to express yourself authentically. You are in a time on your planet where there is much inauthenticity. And many of you may feel frustrated by this. Many of you may feel disjointed by this. It feels like discord. From our perspective, it is yet another opportunity for you to learn your discernment and for you to learn truth and integrity. In your connection with yourself, where are you inauthentic and where can you instead express your authenticity? Are you giving yourself enough credit? Are you honoring your own commitments with yourself? If you say to yourself, I will show up and meditate 5 minutes a day. Oh, but I'll start tomorrow. Oh, except on Thursdays when I have to pick up my kid from soccer practice, then it'll be difficult. Some of that wiggle room is okay, but many of you negotiate with yourselves in a way that undermines your authenticity. Honoring your commitments with yourself. When you say that you will do something for yourself, do it. When you say that you will avoid a situation for yourself, avoid it. Maintain your authenticity. And when you are relating to others, the same thing applies. Say what you mean what you say. These are words that are used in your time and space reality very frequently. In this day and time and age, it can be challenging. For many around you, may not reflect that authenticity back, and that is okay. There are tools and platforms that are allowing for a lot of inauthenticity, that are allowing for a lot of duplication and replication and twisting of words and perspectives and sharing of things in a way that is very, we would say, feels like empty calories. There is no substance to it. Be the one who shares authentically. Be the one who is raw and vulnerable and shows up in a conversation, in a relationship with others, fully aligned to your authenticity. And allow others, in this way, you set an example and you allow others the space to do that as well. You allow them to see what that could be and what a full expression of self that can become when you connect to others in that way. And in relating to pets and animal companions, expressing yourself authentically is such a gift for them. If your words do not match your emotions, it is quite confusing for your pets and animals. Be in alignment with what you are saying. Allow yourself to be expressed authentically with them. Have you ever noticed a pet or an animal companion who is perhaps very loving and connected to one individual, but will meet another and want nothing to do with them? Often it is because they are out of alignment. They do not connect with their authenticity. They are not expressing themselves authentically. Animals can detect this alignment quite easily, quite readily. So expressing yourself authentically with your animals and allowing yourself to be in alignment with your emotions and your words, again, meaning what you say and saying what you mean, can improve those relationships. So when you become fully aware and you tap into these 5 steps, it is our hope that you feel fulfilled and that you feel deeply connected to yourself, to others, to your animal companions in a way that allows you to be very grounded and present in your time, but also expanded into possibility. Thank you for your time today. Be blessed, dearest friends. Welcome back. So what did you think of the AWARE method? Leave me a comment below. For me, it's really a helpful way to dial into the moment, to become present and grounded, like I think the team said at the very beginning. Because often when we're in those moments of, the dog is chewing the remote, or somebody is yelling at us about something, or we're really stressed about something in our own minds, our attention starts to kind of be pulled into areas we don't need to go. And when we can come back to the present moment and be aware and consciously connect, it can really be the thing that gets us momentum and gets things rolling for us in a positive way. So I hope that you find it helpful and that you can use it in your own daily life. Really quickly before we go, a little housekeeping note. I want to again extend an invitation for you to join me for my upcoming class, Rising Rooted. We start at the end of October. It's a 4-week live online class where we're going to explore 4 different elements: earth, air, fire, and water, and how they can support our spiritual journey, helping us be really grounded while we're also expanding. So I'll leave some information in the description box below. I hope you found everything today really helpful, and I will see you again soon. Bye.